want to tell you quickly how all of this came about. Al and me were going to storytelling events, and we went to the Moth in Long Island City. And when we came out of there, the storytellers are very good. They're very professional when you get to a certain level in the Moth. But the stories weren't, to me, as gripping as we said today. And Al said, you know, stop bitching and moaning, let's do it. Now, the reason I came to this conclusion is because I used to tell stories at my local on Lexington Avenue, Rocky Sullivan's. We called it the Literary Lounge of Lexington Avenue. And at one stage, Malachi McCourt made a phone call that changed my life. He called the Irish Repertory Theater, told Kieran O'Reilly, who founded it. He says, look at what this guy's doing. I think he could do something. So he produced it and directed it. And it was an off-Broadway show for 3 months at the Irish Rep, good reviews, and it just sold out. So, but every night there was a phenomenon. I would go outside, and the audience members would be there, and they said, you ever think about doing the Moth? And I said, I can't do it, I'm at the Irish Rep. So after the 3 months were over, I said, you know what, I'm going to do the Moth. So I went to the Bell House in Brooklyn. Now, I didn't know what the process was. You take your name and you put it in a hat, and then they only pick 10 people, and you hope to be one of the 10, and then they pick 3 drunken people to make them judges. The story. And when I love the Moth. I listen to it every Saturday, 2 to 3. The stories are incredible. But I was looking on this stage and saying, where are they getting the stories that I hear on the radio? Certainly not here. And the place is packed, 300 people. So the general thread amongst everybody that went up on the stage, they're all male, 25. Hello, I live in my mother's basement. I smoke weed, I drink beer, and I play video games. And then the female would get up. Hi, my boyfriend lives in his mother's basement. He smokes weed, he drinks beer, and he plays video games. So this was the extent of their stories and their life experience. Now, I don't want to go old school on you people here, but at 18, we were drafted. Our government sent us somewhere around the world to kill someone. We came back, we got married, had 2 kids, got divorced, and by age 25, we were raging alcoholics and drug addicts. But we had stories. These kids today, what do they got? I'm coding, I'm IT. What kind of story? Where are you going to get a story out of that? So I didn't get picked that night. So I was coming out of there, I said, I'm going to give it one more shot. So I went to Housing Works down in Soho. So I noticed the pattern. If you go too early and your name is at the bottom, you don't get picked. So I waited till the last, had my name on top, and I got picked. So I got up and I told this crazy story about me and my friend Seth Goldman, fellow hack. The Amazing Race flew us out to California to be part of the Amazing Race. Now, if we had won the $1 million, I wouldn't be up here. And all good stories end in disaster, and so did this. So I got the highest points up until that point. So as the night's going on, the last guy goes up, and he starts talking about, he goes, I have a dog. He means everything to me. He's my life. And he started getting sick, and he was getting sicker. And I took him to the vet, and I'm thinking, if this dog dies, I'm fucked. And of course the dog dies. Everyone's crying. He wins. So I leave there. I said, forget it. This Moth, I'm not cut out for it. So a couple of years later, my friend who used to own Theater 80 on St. Mark's Place, I decided to do a fundraiser for him, but doing a fundraiser of 3 nights for St. Mark's, where he was in the hole for $12 million, didn't really put a dent in much. But it was more symbolic than anything. But the same thing was happening again. People were coming up to me after the show. You ever think about doing the Moth? I said, enough of the Moth already, enough. So then one night, I finished the show, come out, this woman comes up to me. You ever think about doing the Moth? I said, let me tell you about the fucking Moth. Unless you're doing something about dying dogs, you're not getting on there. So she reaches into her coat, and she hands me her card. The Moth. Artistic director, Kathleen Burns. I went into Ralph Cramden. Humna, 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 humna. I bribe a dust. I said, listen, Kathleen, I am so sorry. Please forgive me what I said. But I love the Moth, but I don't do dying dogs. She goes, don't worry, you don't have to do it. And she got me onto the Moth. We did it at the Music Hall in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Actually got paid for it. So that's how I got into this storytelling community, and that's why what Alamy are trying to create is what's going on now.